I'm scared. I'm feeling very low. I'm fully vaccinated, but for not sure why, I still feel like I'm not going anywhere. I don't know how people react when I go out. That's the afraid part I always have on my end. My immune system is very low. I don't know what to do, and I'm so confused. Namaste, good morning, and good afternoon, everyone. This is RITA DHUNGEL. I am an assistant professor with the School of Social Work at MacEwan University in Canada. And today I'm going to be sharing Photovoice as a transformative tool that we use to unpack the experiences of immigrants and refugees living with HIV in Canada. I would like to begin my presentation with the land acknowledgement. I recognize that I'm an uninvited guest in the Treaty 7 territory. I'm currently living in Calgary. I would also like to recognize the participants who share their lived experiences, challenges, and strength, knowledge, and wisdom with us. In terms of providing the overview of the history, I would say that this study was built on the previous studies with African, Black, Caribbean women living with HIV. It was 2 years ago we conducted the study, and the study strongly suggested the need of further study to focus with the voices and experiences of immigrants, refugees, immigrants and refugees living with HIV across Alberta. That's why this study was initiated. Now we have 10 people participated in this study, and this study is continuing until the end of October. The aim of this study is to unpack intersectional operation experienced by people living with HIV across Alberta who are immigrants and refugees, with a focus on COVID-19. Using social determinants of health perspective, we also wanted to examine some of the components, whether they escalated their vulnerability, socioeconomic marginalization or not. For example, housing, insurance, Alberta Health. There are lots of other factors we also examined throughout this research project. For those people who are new to Photovoice, Photovoice is investigative and advocacy research tools that allows people to come together and share their lived experiences, challenges, and strength. And also some of the, most of the time people share what they would like to see in their communities for their better, for the well-being and safe of their community using photography. So photography is a key part in Photovoice project. That project also allows people to develop their critical thinking and also capacity building skills when they come together and engage in critical dialogues and go to communities and then take pictures. This is the process that I used, or our research team used throughout the Photovoice project, starting from connecting and consulting here on my left-hand side. I started a year ago before the project started, connecting with community-based organizations working with people living with HIV in Edmonton, and find out the gaps in services and programs, and also the previous research has suggested there is gaps in scholarly activities. So I share with them, and then we saw the value of doing this research. Then I also contacted other academics from MacEwan University and outside of MacEwan University. And then once we build relationship and then establish trust, we felt that, okay, we are moving forward. And then we applied for the grant. It's an internal strategy grant. So once we secured the grants, then we also applied for ethics approval. As soon as we got the ethics approval, we hired a community connector who is grounded on communities and mainly in recruiting participants for the Photovoice project. And then we also came together and talk about the timeline and how would we proceed in the next couple of months. That's how we decided. And then through the help of community connectors, we had orientation session for the people who are going to be participating in the Photovoice project, and in the orientation or training or workshop, whatever we can call, we also focus on how we are going to be doing ethical research. And then we also highlighted that if you don't want to come on camera, and then you can certainly switch off your camera, turn off your camera before you enter. And it was highly appreciated by all the participants that they don't have to come on camera, since we are doing all the Photovoice project narrations and then orientations, everything on Zoom. And then, so we moved to the data collection process. So we gave the training, and then they were invited to the training, and then they were encouraged to go to communities and take 5 pictures and come back to the same forum in 15 days and share their narratives using those pictures. So most of the people, they were very creative, and they sent us pictures, and then the second time when they come, they share their stories using the photographies. And then third time, we are going to be doing debriefing and then feedback, and we are asking them what the pictures they would like to see in the exhibitions, and then if there are any languages they want to change, they are going to be doing that. So we haven't gone so far at this point. We're still in the process of data collection and then also data analyzing at the same time. And then, however, we already picked a date for knowledge mobilization. Basically, we're doing Photovoice exhibitions and developing booklets and distributing on that day, which is December 1st, HIV Oral Day. So we are celebrating the day in a different ways. That's something we are going to be doing. And Photovoice exhibitions are going to be held at the library at MacEwan University for a whole week. We strongly believe that through those kind of activities, then we can promote community and social change in multiple ways. So as I talked earlier, that there are lots of intersectional operation that we cannot see. So using as an iceberg, as a metaphor, we are going to be examining some of the intersectional operation, what people share with us, and then what their implications on their mental health and psychological well-being. I like this diagram. This is my favorite diagram. So as you see in the diagram, the roots are talking about all the intersectional operations. People are sharing what people shared with us. For example, is structural operation. People share that they are experiencing some of the systemic operation at the policy level. And one example is people are going through immigration process, and because of their HIV status, they are going to be going through lots of screening, and which they don't want to disclose their health situation. It is very confidential, but sometimes they are obligated to share. So that's the structural violence they share with us. And then also stigma and discrimination, both at community level, family level, and even structural level. Sometimes the way professionals talk to them, they feel like they are nothing, and they feel more vulnerable. And also some of the programs and services offered by the community-based organizations are not good enough. They adequately don't meet needs and aspirations of people living with HIV. Most of the services are one fits all size approach, and all individuals are unique and their experiences are unique. So they reported that some of the services are not good enough. That's why it needs to be, we don't need to be using blanket policy while developing the policies and programs. And also microaggressive behaviors. People share their microaggressive behaviors when people are, mostly in social gatherings or at workplace, if their supervisors know HIV, they know that they are living with HIV people. For example, one person said that everybody says that don't go out during COVID-19 because you have immune system low. So people remind all the time that I'm living with HIV, even I don't want to remember all the time. But HIV is in my blood, but it's not in my physical appearance, right? So people, that's how people say that I don't want people remind me all the time. So these are the microbes, even though intention is very good, but the language, sometimes they say something different that that hurts people living with HIV. And then because of all these elements, people feel that internalized oppression. They feel like I don't have the capacity to do that. My self-esteem is very low. I'm confused. I'm stressed and I'm depressed. I prefer to stay in home. Those are the internalized oppression emerged out of this. All the components escalated their vulnerability, not only to socioeconomic marginalization, but also to their mental health challenges and psychological well-being. And you can see the green boxes. Those are the challenges people share with us: stress, isolation, depression, and social anxiety. And they are kind of like integrated or intertwined each other. For example, people share with us that they feel isolated mostly during COVID-19. They don't want to go outside, but at the same time, they feel social anxiety. So they know that they are feeling isolated. They want to reduce the isolation part by doing something different, but at the same time they have social anxiety. So how would they keep those balance and feel more like I'm totally fine and I'm also doing great? So that's how they are sharing their mental health challenges and well-being. And I brought some of the photo voices to share with you today, and then I can read this for you. The first one: these photographs reminds me of the time when I found that I'm living with HIV. I was not sure what to do and where to go. I wanted to hide myself from everyone. I was afraid and felt scary. The sky would be falling on me. I'm still living in fear though. There is another example that during COVID, one of the participants shared isolation and social anxiety. During COVID, my photography profession was very slow and still slow. I did not have any other work. I stayed in home and all the time, and my bed is everything for me. I did not even want to go to see anyone. Dealing some mental health challenges. I wish I had a bit more services about counseling for the people living with HIV. And this is the one of the participants shared with us about coping mechanisms. When I'm stressed and depressed, I want to draw, do something. It could be anything. I use different colors and just draw lines and lines as shown in the picture. This makes me feel happy and at peace. At the end, we also came up with a conclusion. Again, we haven't had a chance to go through all the Photovoice narratives analysis, but so far we have what we found, that COVID-19 escalated systemic oppression, injustice in multiple ways, impacting mental health challenges and psychological well-being of immigrants and refugees living with HIV across Alberta. And we also found that counseling services are required to address mental health challenges in different ways. One fits-all approach does not work when it comes to counseling. So that is the biggest aha moment for me, as I was not aware of that. And also health professionals are required to provide education as it relates to communicate with people living with HIV, as some of our participants, they share how health professionals were communicating with them, and they were talking about you are living with HIV in front of other patients. So those are the experiences our participants share with us, and these are the conclusion for now. Okay, so I think this is all for now, and I would like to take some questions and reflections and insights if you have any. Thank you so much for your time being with me, and I have my email address. If you would like to know more about this research or if you want to collaborate with me, please feel free to contact me, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much.